Every fallen civilization left the same warning about Earth: it guards something worse, HFY. The transmission came through, filtered with decades of interference, yet still crystal clear. It was the same message humanity had heard from every advanced civilization that had ever come across Earth's location in the galaxy. And it was always the same, no matter the species, no matter the time or place. Turn back. Do not attempt to settle here. This world guards something far worse than you could ever imagine. At first, humanity had thought it was just a fluke, a relic of ancient transmissions, a weird coincidence that all these races, long gone or fallen, would say the same thing. But after years of exploration, after encountering the ruins of civilizations across the galaxy, each with signs of sudden and catastrophic destruction, it became clear that Earth wasn't just another planet among millions of lifeless or destroyed worlds. No, Earth was a warning. The first clues had been uncovered by the explorers from the United Earth Coalition, long before humanity became the dominant force in the galaxy. They found traces of long-lost species that had once inhabited the planet, only to vanish without a trace. But their cities, their technology, their artifacts all pointed to one thing: something had been kept here, something that terrified even the most advanced of races. The Andromeda Treaty, a collection of races that had once governed vast stretches of the stars, had issued a stern warning about Earth. But their warning was different from others. They were the only ones who dared to offer a reason. In their collective archives, a haunting history of failures was recorded. Each race that came to Earth, curious and determined to conquer or settle, had vanished without explanation, except for one piece of shared testimony. They called it the Gate. The Gate was an artifact, buried beneath Earth's surface, older than any species had ever recorded. Some said it was a weapon, others, a prison. But one thing was undeniable: it was a force that the galaxies had never understood. Some of the older races had believed that it was a remnant from an even older, darker civilization that had used Earth as a vault to imprison something so incomprehensible, so dangerous, that no known race dared to unlock it. The oldest messages from these fallen civilizations spoke of a time before their collapse, when they attempted to unearth what lay beneath the Earth's crust. When they breached the Gate's seal, something unimaginable had been released. They didn't specify what that something was, but the destruction that followed was always described in cryptic terms. Nobody survived to tell the full story. What was clear, however, was that the beings that tried to access the Gate had all suffered from a fate far worse than death. Their cities had crumbled. Their fleets, once mighty and indomitable, were torn asunder in the blink of an eye. And their people, wiped from existence in a manner so terrifying it defied all attempts at comprehension. Earth had become the greatest forbidden world in the galaxy. As humanity began to chart the stars, they too came across the ruins. It was then that they started receiving the warnings, not just from the Andromeda Treaty, but from others, one after another. Each civilization, some of them ancient beyond comprehension, all spoke of the same threat. Earth guards something worse. At first, humanity shrugged it off, their confidence growing as their technology advanced and their understanding of the universe deepened. But soon, the messages started to pile up. The scientists, once so eager to push the boundaries of knowledge, started to wonder: was there something out there, beyond the stars, waiting for them to open the wrong door? Or worse, was there something within Earth, something they had not yet discovered, that could make all of human progress irrelevant in a single instant? It was during the excavation of a forgotten bunker in Earth's deepest catacombs that humanity's leaders found the final, chilling clue. Buried beneath the ruins, in the depths of an ancient structure, was a warning left not by an alien species, but by the first humans to ever set foot on Earth. The writing was crude, barely legible, but its meaning was clear. We are the first, but we will not be the last. The Gate is not for mortals. It was humanity's realization that the past was not just a series of events, it was a warning, a perpetual cycle, and they were not immune to the fate that had befallen all those before them. There were forces beyond comprehension, beyond even the most advanced minds of the galaxy, locked away on Earth. The Gate was a prison, and it was not meant to be opened. And then, for the first time, the final message came. Do not go further. You will not survive what is to come. The civilizations that had been lost, the fleets that had vanished, The species that had gone extinct, they had all failed because they underestimated Earth. Not because it was powerful, not because it was dangerous, but because it was the keeper of something that humanity had yet to fully comprehend. In the end, the warning was always the same. Earth was not the end of the line, nor the final frontier. It was a barrier, a boundary keeping something far worse at bay. The final warning to the galaxy was simple, and as humanity stood on the precipice of its own understanding, it became clear. Whatever comes next, you cannot stop it. And so, Earth remained a mystery, a place where curiosity was both a gift and a curse. Humanity had joined the others in the silence of the cosmos, but the question was no longer if they would uncover the truth. The question was whether anyone, human or otherwise, would survive to learn it. Next, the awakening. Years passed after humanity's discovery of the final warning, and Earth's secrets remained locked in the depths of the planet. The United Earth Coalition decided to heed the message. Explorers and researchers alike were cautioned against delving too deep into the planet's mysteries. The gate, it seemed, would stay buried. The idea of unleashing something far worse than they could comprehend was enough to keep even the most ambitious in check. But nothing lasts forever. It started subtly, strange phenomena occurring in orbit around Earth. No one could explain it. Unusual signals, barely detectable fluctuations in the planet's magnetic field, bursts of energy from the deep void of space, all directed at Earth from every direction. What was once thought to be the edge of the galaxy, isolated and peaceful, now felt like it was under observation. The first of the anomalies occurred when a deep space probe, intended to explore a distant star system, lost all communications after it passed too close to Earth's orbit. At first, the coalition chalked it up to an equipment malfunction, but then another probe, and another, disappeared without a trace. It wasn't just technology failing, it was as though something in Earth's vicinity had begun reaching out. Then the patterns began to form. Fleets, colonies, and ships, once spread across the stars, began to converge on Earth. The Andromeda Treaty, which had long warned humanity against exploring Earth's depths, sent their own ships, ones they had kept hidden, as though anticipating this moment. Other species followed suit, each arriving under the guise of diplomacy. It wasn't until they made their presence known that humanity understood the true nature of the situation. The galaxy was coming to Earth. They all came with a single, unified purpose, to keep humanity away from the gate. Whatever comes next, it has begun, the message had said. And so it did. The first to speak openly was a race humanity had never encountered before, tall, insectoid beings, their exoskeletons gleaming in the dim light of distant stars. They had arrived with a singular warning, sent not through transmission, but in person. Their ambassador, standing on a platform constructed just outside Earth's atmosphere, broadcasted a message across all frequencies. You, the humans, are too late. You have awakened it. The question echoed through the void, what had they awakened? For the first time, the species of the galaxy had collectively stopped hiding their true purpose. They were not here to conquer Earth, they were here to protect it from the truth. You will not understand what you are dealing with, the insectoid ambassador continued. We came once to this place, seeking to uncover what lay beneath the surface. What you call the gate, it is not a key, it is a warning, a door that should never be opened. But now, something stirs in the deep, and we are too late to prevent what is coming. Panic began to spread among Earth's population. What had they unknowingly set into motion? Humanity had thought it was a simple archaeological curiosity, a relic of the past, nothing more than another treasure waiting to be uncovered. But it had all been much more than that. The warning, once only a vague message, was now becoming reality. It wasn't just the other races that feared the gate. Humanity, too, began to realize that the very soil they walked on, the very atmosphere they breathed, was somehow tied to something they had yet to understand. Something was beneath them, something so ancient that it transcended the stars themselves. And it was stirring. But there was no turning back. Humanity had dug too deep. At first, it was subtle, a disturbance in the ground, the rumbling of Earth's core. Then, a shift in gravity, strange shadows appearing in the sky, and incomprehensible waves of energy that bent spacetime itself. But soon after, it escalated, an immense structure, invisible to the human eye, but unmistakable to those with advanced technology, began to emerge from the depths. It was not merely an artifact, it was a network, an ancient, dormant system that had lain still for eons, waiting. And with it, something else awakened. From deep within Earth's core, a signal rippled outward. The galaxy froze. This wasn't a call to the stars. It wasn't a plea for help. It was a command. The species that had once warned humanity about the gate were no longer in control. The insectoid ambassador's face twisted in horror as the true nature of their failure became apparent. The ancient species, those who had once locked the gate, had never really left. They had been watching. And now, they had returned. The final revelation came not from the alien races, who, despite their immense power and knowledge, seemed small in comparison, but from humanity itself. In that moment, when the gate stirred and humanity saw the horrors locked within, they realized the truth. Earth had never been a prison for some dangerous entity, nor a vault containing dark secrets from the past. Earth was the keeper of the future. The gate was not an end, it was the beginning. A threshold humanity had now crossed, and in doing so, they had become the first species to truly understand its purpose. Earth wasn't a barrier keeping something out, it was a vessel, holding the potential for the next stage of existence. And it was time for that stage to begin. The question now was, could humanity survive what would come next? For every civilization that had come before, the answer had always been the same, no. And yet, the universe watched as the humans, despite all warnings, stood at the threshold. They had unlocked the gate. And something far worse, something unimaginably vast, was now on its way. But maybe, just maybe, this time, it would be different. Maybe humanity had just become the next evolution. Or maybe they were the first to fail. Next, the reckoning. The gate's activation was not a singular event, it was a wave, a shock wave that rippled across the fabric of reality itself. In an instant, the planet shifted. Earth's core began to pulse with a rhythmic energy that could not be explained, and the once peaceful atmosphere now felt tense, as though every molecule of air was charged with a sense of impending change. The sky above Earth flickered, flashes of iridescent light shifting like the aurora borealis, except these were not natural. They were signals, messages from something vastly beyond comprehension. The first to feel it were the alien fleets, those that had come to warn humanity. They had all converged in Earth's orbit, each one equipped with technology that far surpassed anything humanity had ever known. But even they could not stop the cascade of power that had begun to sweep over the planet. The insectoid ambassador was the first to speak, their voice trembling with fear. It's awakening. No one knew what it was. They only knew that the moment the gate had been opened, Earth's gravitational field had begun to warp, pulling everything into a singular focus. Ships, cities, and the forces of nature all aligned with the gate, something that existed beneath the surface of Earth. Something that no one could touch without being consumed. For a moment, everything stopped. And then, from the deep underground, it came. A pulse of pure energy, unlike anything ever seen before. The atmosphere itself seemed to fracture, and from deep within the earth, towering tendrils of darkness erupted, reaching upward like ancient roots, vast and impossibly powerful. They didn't touch the surface, but their presence was undeniable. Something was breaking free. It was then that humanity, united for the first time in history against a common threat, realized the truth. The gate was not just a lock, it was a containment field, a prison for something that had never been meant to escape. A race of beings unlike any other. They were not biological, they were not made of flesh or bone, they were something far older, older than even the first civilizations that had sought to control them. They existed outside of time, beyond the stars. Their presence was pure, infinite darkness, an intelligence that defied all understanding. They were the harbingers. Every race, every species that had ever entered Earth's orbit knew their name. They were the true reason for the warnings, the reason the gate had been built on Earth abandoned by so many. The harbingers were the architects of destruction, capable of tearing down entire galaxies with a single thought. The civilizations that had tried to conquer Earth had not been defeated by mere technology, they had been annihilated by the harbingers, who had followed them across the cosmos. But the harbingers had always been bound, and Earth, in its strange, unassuming way, had been the key to keeping them locked away. Until now. The sky above Earth cracked open, and out of the breach poured something far more terrifying than the mere existence of these ancient entities, their influence. The first wave of harbingers descended like a storm, reaching out with tendrils of shadow to consume everything in their path. Ships in orbit began to disintegrate, their once impenetrable hulls evaporating into nothingness. Cities on the surface shook and crumbled, unable to withstand the tremendous pressure of the dark energy that now flooded Earth. Humanity's greatest fear had always been that the galaxy would come for them, that their rise would provoke those more powerful and ancient than themselves. But now, as the harbingers descended, it was clear that their true challenge had never been external. It was within them, in the heart of Earth, in the force that had kept the worst of the universe at bay. And for a moment, it seemed humanity would fall, just like every other civilization before them. But then something unexpected happened. As the waves of destruction poured across the surface, humanity's greatest asset, its greatest strength, began to emerge: resilience. At first, it was a mere flicker, a spark of defiance. The human race, scattered and struggling, fought back in ways that no other civilization had. They had the technology, yes, but more importantly, they had a sense of unity, an unyielding spirit that transcended fear. The harbingers, for all their power and malevolence, had never encountered a species like this before. Earth's defenders, humanity, fought on, even as cities burned, even as the skies themselves became shattered by dark tendrils. They fought because they knew that if Earth fell, it would not just be the end for them, it would be the end for everything. The alien fleets, who had once warned humanity, joined in the fray, knowing now that it was not only their lives that were at stake but their very existence. Yet despite their advanced technology, they too were forced to face the reality that they were mere children when compared to the harbingers' power. But together, humanity and its allies began to push back. But there was one more element to this tale. The gate had been designed to contain the harbingers, not by brute force, but by willpower. The true power of Earth was not in its technology or its fleets. It was in the strength of its people. The ancient species that had once locked away the harbingers had known this. Earth's greatest defense had always been its capacity to resist, to never yield. And so, as the harbingers clawed their way through the cracks in the fabric of reality, something else began to stir within humanity. It was not just the human race that would stand against the coming storm, it was humanity's spirit. And as the sky tore open, the gates of the universe shaking with the weight of ancient forces, humanity's answer was clear. We are not your downfall, we are your reckoning. The universe had always feared what lay beneath Earth's surface, but now, in the face of the unimaginable, humanity was showing that it was not a species to be defeated. It was a species that would not submit. And in this battle, one that would echo across time and space, perhaps humanity would be the last civilization standing. Or perhaps, it would be the first to break free from the shackles of the past and forge a future unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. And the harbingers? They would soon learn that Earth didn't just guard something worse. It was the something worse. And they had awakened it. But so had humanity. Next, the final convergence. The battle for Earth had transformed from a desperate struggle for survival into something far greater. It was no longer just humanity fighting for its existence. It had become a war of wills, of ideologies, and of cosmic fate. The universe had watched in stunned silence as Earth, once a simple, unassuming cradle of life, had become the final battleground for the most powerful and destructive forces the galaxy had ever known. As the harbingers descended, their influence spread like wildfire, inciting chaos and destruction across the planet. But there was a strange defiance in the air. The more the harbingers unleashed their power, the more Earth's defenders fought back, not just with weapons or advanced technology, but with an unbreakable resolve. It was as though the planet itself had awakened, an ancient force stirring within humanity's collective will, and it was now fighting to protect its home, its people, and the future that had yet to be written. The harbingers, despite their immense power, had never encountered anything like this before. They had conquered galaxies, destroyed civilizations, and reduced entire species to ashes, but Earth was different. The planet itself fought with the energy of 1,000 suns, bolstered by the strength of its inhabitants. At first, the combined forces of humanity and the alien fleets stood no chance. They were too small, too fragile in the face of the Harbinger's vast darkness. Entire cities were consumed by the growing tendrils of shadow, and the earth trembled as if it would crack open beneath the weight of the Harbinger's power. But humanity had something the Harbingers had never considered, a fierce determination to survive. The tide began to shift when Earth's scientists, working in unison with their alien allies, uncovered a startling truth. The gate was not just a prison or a containment field. It was a catalyst, a device not only meant to hold the Harbingers in place but to amplify the latent energy of the planet itself. The energy that had kept the Harbingers trapped for eons wasn't just a defense, it was an echo of Earth's living essence, a cosmic resonance that could fight back against the darkness. It was here, within Earth's core, where humanity's greatest weapon was hidden, not in weapons of mass destruction, nor fleets of warships, but in the very spirit of the human race. It was Earth's connection to the universe itself, a force of nature. As the battle raged on, humanity began to tap into this latent energy, channeling it through the gate. It was not without sacrifice. The process was painful, almost excruciating, and it took everything the defenders had. But as they did, the very fabric of Earth seemed to pulse with life. The skies began to glow, and the Harbingers, who had once seemed invincible, faltered. For the first time, they experienced fear, not of the technology that humanity wielded, but of the raw power that was awakening from within the planet itself. The alien fleets joined in, offering their might, but it was humanity's unique connection to Earth that proved to be the key. As the planet's core reverberated with energy, the gate began to glow with an intensity that could be felt across the entire galaxy. It was as though the gate had unlocked not just the power of the Earth, but the potential of every living being who had ever called it home. The human spirit, defiant, untamed, and unyielding, was the last thing the Harbingers had ever expected. The Harbingers had always believed that power came from destruction, from dominating others. They had never understood the strength that came from unity, from resilience, from a species that refused to surrender in the face of oblivion. And so, the confrontation reached its peak, the moment of convergence, the moment where all the energy of Earth, the combined will of humanity and its allies, and the cosmic force of the gate itself collided. The sky above Earth cracked open like an enormous chasm, and from it, a pulse of energy unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen shot outward. It was pure, untainted force, a force born from Earth itself, from the will of every living thing that had ever thrived on its surface. The Harbingers, who had once controlled galaxies with a mere thought, found themselves overwhelmed by a power they couldn't comprehend. The pulse slammed into them, ripping apart their influence, their tendrils of darkness, and their very existence. For the first time, the Harbingers were contained, not by a prison or a device, but by something even they could not grasp, the collective strength of Earth's people. The struggle continued for days, with Earth's defenders fighting with everything they had. It wasn't a battle of weapons anymore, it was a battle of spirit, of will, of endurance. The Harbingers, though powerful, could not break the resolve of the humans who had risen to protect their world. Finally, as the last remnants of the Harbingers were cast into the void, the gate closed with a final, resounding thrum. The energy of the planet stabilized, and the skies returned to their natural state. Earth, once more, was silent. But it was not the same world as before. The victory over the Harbingers marked a new beginning, not just for humanity, but for the entire galaxy. Earth had proven that it was not just a world to be feared, it was a world that could defend itself, that could rise when all seemed lost. The galaxies that had watched in fear now looked to Earth with awe. They had seen the strength of humanity, and the truth became undeniable. Earth was no longer just the cradle of life, it was the heart of the universe. And humanity, the species that had been warned time and time again to stay away, had become the force that had stopped the Harbingers, the force that had protected the future of all sentient life. The final message came not from the stars, but from within the Earth itself, as the gate, now sealed for good, sent out a last transmission, one that echoed throughout the galaxy. This is Earth, we stand guard, and we will rise again. Humanity had been tested, and it had passed. The Harbingers had come, but now they were gone, sealed away once again by the will of Earth and its people. The galaxy had feared Earth for millennia. Now, it would learn to respect it. And perhaps, just perhaps, the universe had underestimated humanity's greatest strength. It wasn't their technology, nor their might. It was their unyielding will to survive. And that no force in the universe could ever stop. Next, the dawn of the new era. The aftermath of the battle was nothing short of extraordinary. Earth had not only survived, but had triumphed over the most incomprehensible threat the galaxy had ever faced. The Harbingers, those ancient, cosmic forces of destruction, had been sealed away once again, their power broken by the spirit of humanity and the collective will of all life on Earth. But the victory, while monumental, was only the beginning of something far greater. The gate, which had been the catalyst for the conflict, now stood silent, its immense energy still thrumming deep within the planet's core, pulsing with a mysterious force. Humanity had come to understand that the gate was not just a relic from the past, but a beacon for the future. It was more than a tool for containment, it was a doorway to something beyond their current understanding, something they had not yet discovered. With the destruction of the Harbingers, the galaxy began to take notice. The coalition of alien species, those who had once watched Earth with caution and fear, now looked at humanity with a mixture of awe, respect, and perhaps even envy. The message from Earth had been loud and clear: we are not just survivors, we are the guardians of the future. But with this newfound respect came a host of questions. What exactly had humanity awakened? What was the true purpose of the gate? And more importantly, what did the universe expect of Earth now? The victory over the Harbingers had not erased the fact that humanity had stumbled into a cosmic war that had been ongoing for eons. The very forces that had once sealed the Harbingers away now called upon Earth for something more. The first sign of what was to come appeared in the form of a massive, silent fleet of ships arriving just beyond Earth's orbit. These ships were unlike anything humanity had ever seen: massive, organic, shimmering with energy, and communicating through strange pulses of light and sound. They were not of the known galactic races. In fact, they were not even of any species humanity could comprehend. The ships were a part of something older than any civilization on Earth, a race of beings that existed before the universe had even begun to take shape. They were known only by their name, passed down in the ancient records of the galaxy's oldest civilizations: the architects. The architects had watched over the universe for untold millennia, shaping life, crafting galaxies, and ensuring the balance of all things. They had seen the rise and fall of countless civilizations, and they knew that Earth, for all its apparent simplicity, had become the focal point of something greater. The gate had not been placed on Earth by chance. It was the culmination of a cosmic plan that had been set into motion long before humanity had even appeared on the scene. When the first message from the architects arrived, it was not a question, it was a statement. You have unlocked the path. You are the guardians now. Humanity had always thought of itself as insignificant in the grand scheme of the universe, but the truth was undeniable now. Earth had been chosen, not by chance, but by design. The gate was not merely a weapon of containment. It was a key to the next stage of existence, a doorway to realms that lay beyond the known universe, to dimensions untouched by even the architects themselves. The architects, ancient and powerful, were no longer the protectors of Earth's future. That responsibility now lay with humanity. The news rippled through every corner of Earth. Governments, military leaders, scientists, and civilians all felt the weight of this revelation. For the first time, the future was not just something to be feared, it was something to be embraced. But the architects were not without their own agenda. They had long ago realized that no species could hold the key to the universe's mysteries without the potential for great destruction. The power of the gate, of Earth itself, was enormous, and they needed to be sure that humanity was ready for the responsibility it now carried. And so, they came. Representatives of the architects descended to Earth, their forms shifting and changing, incomprehensible to the human eye. They were not beings of flesh and bone, but rather entities of pure energy, existing in ways humanity could not yet fully grasp. The first meeting was not one of diplomacy but of examination. The architects observed humanity, watched its history, its struggles, its victories, and they saw something in the human spirit that they had never encountered before: unwavering resilience. We have seen countless species, one of the architects spoke, its voice a harmonious combination of sound and light that resonated in the minds of every human present. But never before have we encountered one so determined, so unwilling to surrender to the forces of fate. You have defied the odds, faced the darkness, and emerged victorious. You are ready for what comes next. Humanity was to become the stewards of the universe's future. They were to safeguard the gate and the knowledge it contained. The architects, for all their ancient wisdom, had long ago realized that only through the endurance of life, the persistence of will, could the universe continue to evolve. But this new role came with a cost. The architects had long since transcended the need for physical form, for material existence. They existed outside the flow of time, in realms humanity could not yet fathom. They had guided countless species, shaped countless worlds, but they were not meant to be the ones to carry the weight of the future. Humanity, in all its flawed, fragile, and unpredictable nature, was the chosen vessel. They were to be the guardians of the gate, the protectors of the secrets that lay beyond it. And in doing so, humanity would become the bridge between the known universe and the unfathomable realms beyond. The galaxy was no longer a distant and unknown place for Earth. It was theirs to explore, to protect, to shape. The first step into this new era was not an invasion of the stars, nor an unyielding conquest of other species. It was something more profound. Humanity would be called to explore the boundaries of existence itself, to understand the mysteries of the gate, and to venture into the realms where the architects had once stood, where no other being had dared to enter for eons. But one thing was certain, Earth was no longer a hidden world in the vastness of space. It was the heart of the universe's future. As the architects departed, their message remained. This is the dawn of the new era. You are the key. You are the guardians. What you do next will shape the cosmos. And humanity, standing on the precipice of the unknown, felt the weight of the responsibility and the thrill of infinite possibilities. Earth had not just survived. It had awakened. And now, it would guide the universe into the next phase of its existence. Next, the path beyond. The days following the departure of the architects were filled with a tense, electrifying quiet. The world had collectively shifted its gaze from Earth's past to its future. For the first time in history, humanity understood that it was no longer merely a species struggling for survival in an indifferent universe. They had become the keepers of something much more important, a force that could shape the course of existence itself. The gate, once a mysterious relic, now pulsed with a quiet, reverberating hum. Its energy, once dormant, was now active, and humanity's role was clear. They had been entrusted with the power to unlock the very nature of the cosmos. But this power, as the architects had cautioned, was not to be taken lightly. It came with responsibilities, with the need for balance and wisdom. Governments, now united under a new banner, the Earth Federation, began to organize and prepare for the next phase of exploration. Space programs, once confined to satellites and distant probes, now expanded to encompass the uncharted realms beyond the gate. But Earth's scientists, aware of the dangers that had been unleashed, proceeded cautiously. The power contained within the gate was immense, and they had learned firsthand that not everything within the universe was meant to be unlocked. In the coming months, teams of humanity's finest minds, engineers, physicists, biologists, and philosophers, worked tirelessly to decipher the true nature of the gate. They studied its patterns, its energy signatures, and the strange symbols etched into its surface. It was clear that the gate was not merely a door to new worlds, but a complex interface, designed not only to open the way to other dimensions, but to protect those who wielded its power. But the more humanity learned, the more they began to realize the extent of the forces they had come to control. Every attempt to probe the gate's deeper mysteries revealed strange new phenomena, disturbances in spacetime, altered gravitational fields, and waves of energy that could tear through the fabric of reality itself. The warnings of the architects echoed in their minds. This path must be tread carefully. What lies beyond is not for the faint of heart. Despite these warnings, humanity pressed forward. For centuries, Earth had been an isolated, insignificant world in the vast ocean of stars. Now, it was the fulcrum upon which the universe would pivot, and with that weight, came the inevitable push toward action. The gate had not been left unlocked for humanity to simply stand and watch. It was a challenge, a call to adventure, and above all, a test of humanity's capacity for growth. The first official mission through the gate was launched in the year 2053. The ship, named Eden, was humanity's first interdimensional vessel. equipped with the finest technology Earth had to offer. It was a blend of biological and artificial intelligence, designed to sustain the crew for an indefinite period. Its mission was simple: to explore the space beyond the gate, to chart its territories, and to bring back knowledge, any knowledge, that would help Earth understand the scope of what lay ahead. The crew of Eden was made up of some of the most brilliant minds from around the world. Leading the expedition was Captain Alina Roque, a seasoned astronaut with a reputation for handling the most dangerous missions. Alongside her were specialists in quantum mechanics, dimensional theory, and exobiology, all tasked with exploring the unknown. The day they launched was unlike any other in Earth's history. The whole world held its breath as Eden ascended into the unknown, its engines roaring to life as it entered the shimmering barrier of the gate. The moment the ship passed through the threshold, there was an eerie silence, followed by a surge of energy that sent ripples through spacetime itself. On the other side, the crew was confronted with a sight unlike anything they had ever imagined. What lay before them was a vast, infinite landscape, a swirling tapestry of galaxies and nebulae that defied all understanding. But it wasn't just the vastness that struck them, it was the sense of presence. Each star seemed to pulse with an energy all its own, each galaxy a living, breathing entity in the cosmic sea. But it wasn't long before the crew realized they were not alone. Strange entities began to appear, shimmering in the space around them, beings made of light, energy, and thought. The ship's sensors failed to register them as life forms, yet there was no doubt that they were alive, aware, and intelligent. The crew attempted communication, using all the methods they had studied, but nothing seemed to bridge the gap between their understanding and the strange beings' way of communicating. It was as if the language of the universe itself had shifted, and the rules they had once understood no longer applied. Captain Roque, however, didn't give up. She realized that communication wasn't just about technology, it was about perception. She and her team began experimenting with different methods of transmitting thought, emotion, and intention, rather than relying solely on words or signals. Slowly, after what felt like an eternity, they made a breakthrough. The beings, who called themselves the Elder Witnesses, revealed themselves to be the custodians of the dimensions beyond the gate. The Elder Witnesses were not creatures of flesh or even energy. They were something older and far more complex, part of the very fabric of reality itself. They had existed long before Earth, before the architects, and they had watched over the universes, ensuring that the delicate balance between dimensions was maintained. Through their shared communication, Captain Roque and her team learned that the gate was not a mere portal, it was a conduit. It connected Earth not only to other physical realms, but to the very essence of creation itself. The knowledge contained within the gate was unfathomable, a knowledge of existence, consciousness, and reality itself. It was a living, evolving connection to the multiverse, and the responsibility to protect it was greater than anything humanity had ever known. The Elder Witnesses warned humanity that this knowledge, if misused, could unravel the very fabric of existence. The gate was a tool of creation and destruction, and those who wielded it would shape the fate of countless dimensions. The guardians of the gate, humanity, had a choice: to unlock the secrets of the multiverse or to protect them, ensuring that the knowledge within remained balanced and preserved. As Captain Roque and her crew returned to Earth, the gravity of their discovery became clear. Humanity was no longer just the guardians of Earth, they were the stewards of an entire multiverse. The gate was not only their responsibility, it was their legacy. The decision humanity faced now was not whether to explore, but how to explore. The temptation to unlock every secret, to reach beyond the boundaries of the known universe, was powerful, but the knowledge of what lay beyond was equally daunting. The question that now haunted Earth's leaders, scientists, and philosophers was simple. Would humanity wield the power of the gate wisely, or would they fall prey to its dangers, just as countless civilizations before them had done? The answer was still uncertain. But one thing was clear: humanity had stepped into the unknown, and it would never go back.